Hello and welcome. I know I'm a bit late. It's past Valentine's and I wanted to post this for before Valentine's, but anyways, you can save it for the next year. So I'm going to show you how I made this teeny tiny bunny. Sorry, that's clay on my fingers. And no, it's not made of clay, it's needle felted and it's holding a little love letter. So I'm beginning with, as usual, with cordial slivers. So I've started off by rolling a little piece of wool and I've rolled it into a ball, and with my needle I'm marking where the eyes are supposed to be and the nose, and then I'm going to build the shape of a bunny's head on top of that. So it's a rough idea that I'm getting, and to add details to the head I'm making a tiny triangle, and it's a very tiny bunny, so you just have to have a very tiny piece of wool, not too much because you don't want it to be thick. So as you can see, it's just a little fluff that I've got, and I've folded it up into a triangle, and this is going to sit at the nose. The tip of the triangle is going to be the nose. So I'm going to make two more of these, and they are going to form the cheeks. So once I've got all three of them, I'm starting off getting them on top of the head. And as you can see, the triangles, all three of them are on top. Two are the cheeks, and one is the head. And it's better to put the one that goes down from the forehead at the end, so you get a nice nose. And you can see where the eyes are going to be on both the ends. So when you put the triangles down for the cheeks, and you know where the forehead is going to be, you'll have the eyes in the middle of both those parts. I hope I'm making sense. And I think I needed a bit more wool on the forehead, so I'm just adding some. So this is the tiny mouth, very tiny piece of wool. Just rolled it up and felted it, and that formed the mouth of the bunny. And now I'm doing the body, and it's a cylindrical shape, and you have to keep the head and see how big you want the body to be. So you keep felting till it's nice and firm, and then attach the head to it. And the extra bit at the back of the head just joins the body, and it gives secure joining as well. So I'm just going to stab it down, or you can cut it if you think the head is secure enough without felting down the extra piece of wool. Now I'm making the limbs. So again, it's a very tiny bunny, so you don't need a lot of wool, and you have to keep checking so you don't make really big limbs, as I just did. So I just removed some of the wool from it, and it has to be really tiny. The arms and the feet. So it's a quick project because it's really small, but it does need time to make things a bit firm. But I've got the size right, so I have to make two of them. For the feet, I'm just rolling another piece of wool, making it a circular shape. Once I've got the size right, I'm going to add the details. I'm using my multi-tool just to get things a bit more firmer. And it's a very small one, so I'm using a tiny bead for the eyes, and I'm going to stitch it on. The bead had a hole in it, so it was easier to just stitch it on. And you can just tuck in the thread inside the body and just cut it off. I'm going to stitch both the eyes on both the ends of the face and tuck in the extra bits of thread. Now I'm adding details around the eyes. I'm using black wool and just going around the beads so I get the shape of the eyes. So it's kind of the eye shape. And I'm using a darker grey for the nose and a lighter grey on top of it just to give it a little bit of color. And it looks cute now because it's taking shape. I'm going to cover the rest of it with white. The nose looked a little more grey than I intended it to be, so just give it a little trim and added more white to it. So now it looks light grey. You can use any colors you want. Now adding color to the arms as well. Tips are grey and the arms are going to be white. I'm attaching the arms and then I'm going to cover the back of the bunny with the white color. So you can see the fluff at the back. I'm going to attach the arms and then make it neat from the back to give color to the little tiny feet as well. So I'm just adding little tiny bits of grey. And I've shaped the toes with the grey. So now you can see the toes. I just made little circles and now the toes are added. So I've cut off the extra fluff. Now I'm shaping the ears. So for that I've put down the colors I want and in the order I want them to be. So the tip of it is dark grey and then light grey at the bottom. Then I've felted it down just roughly the oval shape that I want and have folded it over. So I'm not using any core wool in that because I don't want it to be too thick. As you can see, when you turn it over, you'll have a really nice shade of dark grey at the top. And just flatten it out. So once you got one ear ready, you can make the other one the same size. I'm adding a little pink to it, to the center. and just keep rubbing it so it's nice and flat. And I'm using pins to place them. I'm sure that they're at the right place before I stab them down. And once they're in place, you can remove the pins. And the ears always, when you make them, they're always bigger than what you intend. So I'm just gonna cut out the back and not chopping them off right away. I'm just trimming them. Now I'm adding the tiny feet at the bottom. The back of the bunny seemed a bit flat, so I'm making a little cushion and adding it to the back so it has a tiny hip, because it just seemed flat and I wanted it to have a little curve and some balance. So I've added white wool. I've just folded it up and added it to the back. So this is going to be the tail. So I've taken a little fluff and I'm joining it right from the middle and going over both sides of it. I've got tiny, just like you add fur, then I've cut off the extra bits. I'm going to make the little envelope and I'm using a white felt sheet. So I'm just figuring out the size and roughly drawing it. Folded one half of it. And I don't know if I can explain it because I'm not good at measuring and crafting. I'm just, just figuring it out how to make a little envelope. So I've made a triangular shape at the top, which can be folded, and trimming off to the size I want. Now I'm using a red thread to stitch the edges of it so it looks cute. Using another piece of felted sheet, I'm drawing a little heart that I'm going to cut out and place on the envelope where the flap comes down. Glued it on and I'm going to give it a little stitch so it stays in place. And now I'm attaching it by felting it down. You can use glue as well. I think some glue will be needed to keep it in place. And as you can see, the bunny is complete. He looks adorable. You can give it as a gift to your Valentine or somebody who loves bunnies. He's got tiny tail. I hope you have enjoyed this little tiny project and it's easy to make. And thank you for watching, and please do subscribe for more.